I'm Lonna Kelly, and this is Hudson Valley Art Speak. Thank you for tuning in today. We are going to be talking to author Timothy Tocher today, and also about the Millbrook Literary Festival, which is coming up in May. Tim's an author, and he's written 5 books for middle school and teens, in addition to lots of articles and nonfiction magazine pieces for children. Tim, thanks for coming today.
Well, thank you for having me, Lonna.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the books that you've written.
Most of my books, well, all 5 of the book-length things that I've published are about sports. And I think that because I love sports so much, it comes across in the writing. So you have some books here, one featuring Babe Ruth. Yes, that's set in 1920, Babe Ruth's first year on the Yankees. And it has all the exciting events that happened in the real season, plus the interaction with my fictional character, a young boy named Hank Cobb.
And you also are doing some graphic novels now?
Yes, this is called Oddball, and it has crazy events in baseball history in comic strip format. And it's a lot of fun to read. The kids, I sneak in some history along the way that they may not be expecting, but they get a lot of laughs and learn a lot of facts about the different teams. Yeah,
and you said you had written a couple of books that had were girls involved.
My first 2 books were paperback originals. I invented a young girl named Lori Bird Preston, who's a sensational athlete. So when she plays basketball, she has no problems at all. But off the court, she has all the parental problems and peer pressure problems and all the things that all kids face.
Yeah, typical kind of problems. Yeah, that's very interesting. I think that we're coming into a time where so many girls are playing sports that they'll, it would be great to have books like that where the girls are successful and they're doing well and they're the stars of the books.
Yeah, they're so much fun to watch.
Yeah. So you are also involved with the Millbrook Literary Festival today.
Yes, it's something we look forward to each year. We spend almost the entire year getting ready for an event. And this is our 10th annual festival, so we're trying to make this an extra special one. Some things have not changed from the beginning. It's still a free event. We still have events for the whole family. And I think just about no matter what your interest is, you would find something at the festival that you would consider it worth spending a sunny Saturday.
And so that's happening in May?
May 19th from 10 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon.
And it's at the Millbrook, I read it's at the Millbrook Library, and is it at other places also in Millbrook?
It's on the grounds of the library. We have tents outside, and we have 3 different performance locations inside the library.
Okay. What kind of performances would people see?
We have panel discussions. We have workshops. We have a workshop for all ages. A gentleman named Stephen Petruccio is a really great illustrator. He's done over 80 books.
Wow.
And he's going to offer a free workshop for kids, teens, adults, whoever's interested in learning something about drawing. He'll provide all the materials, and you can come and get the tips from an expert.
That's pretty exciting. I think I'll get my husband to go to that. He's interested in doing that. Now, there's also going to be a literary prize.
Yes, the festival was founded by Scott Meyer, the longtime owner of the Merritt Bookstore. And everyone that knew Scott knew he did everything he could to promote books, reading, literacy, and he was a great friend to writers. So in 2016, after he passed away, we decided to start a Scott Meyer Award as a part of the festival. And there's still time to enter. The deadline is not until April 15th. If you live in the Hudson or Harlem Valley, we have a $300 first prize and $250 runner-up prizes. And this year's topic is poetry. You can write any form of poem and just submit it. All the directions are on our website, millbrookliteraryfestival.org. And the 3 finalists will be chosen by our committee. And then Poet Gold, she's the Poet Laureate of Dutchess County. She will choose the winner from those three and present the awards at the festival.
Oh, that's great. And will the person read their essay?
Yes,
or?
all three will read their poems to three finalists. And at the same session, we'll give our Young Writers Prize for this year, which is also for poetry this year. It has to be a poem 20 lines or fewer. Doesn't have to rhyme, can be any form you like. And that deadline is also April 15th.
Okay, and what age is that available to?
We have two categories, from 8 to 13 and from 14 to 18.
Okay, that's great.
And there are gift cards to the Merit Bookstore as prizes in that.
Isn't it wonderful to have small independent bookstores?
They're one of my favorite things. Whenever my wife and I go to a new town, that's the first thing we look is to see if they have a bookstore.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm fortunate.
They all have their own personality.
Yeah, we have a bookstore in our town. I live in Pauling, and it's wonderful to have the bookstore there. So you have many different authors. You have poets, you have illustrators, you have somebody who'll give a publishing workshop.
Yes, we know a lot of the people who attend our festival are interested in publishing themselves.
Yes. And
this year our topic is choosing the correct format for your work, because now you can publish digitally, you can self-publish,
right.
You can do traditional publishing. So we're focusing on that this year. We're going to have an agent named April Eberhard, and also at least 2 editors that'll be on that panel.
Yeah. And
they'll be dispensing some valuable advice, I'm sure.
That's great. That's great. I mean, it must be very hard to choose between all that and to, you know, if you do self-publish, how do you get your book out there, and you know, what are all the steps you need to take?
I know it's a time when if you really want to publish your work, you can, but it's very hard to promote it afterwards.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then I know, to get it in the libraries and
yes.
bookstores and everything. So, if I was walking into those tents on May 19th, what would I expect to see?
Well, you would see a variety of books on topics for all ages. Everything from mysteries, which people always love. It's one of our well-attended panels every year, to history and Native American voices we always feature. This year we have a great panel featuring some outstanding individuals. Evan Pritchard, who's taught Native Studies at Marist and Vassar and Pace, I believe. He's a poet. And we'll have a recent anthology called Tending the Fire with all Native American poetry in it.
I'm going to read off some author names to you.
Sure.
Okay, because I know that these are people who are going to be there, and maybe you can, you know, just say a little bit about each one of them, okay, or what kind of books they might write, or what people might expect to see. Jennifer Donnelly.
Jennifer writes for adults, teens, and children.
Wow.
She's a pretty amazing writer.
Covers a lot of ground there.
She's been involved in the festival since our first year, and her latest book is really interesting. She and 6 other writers wrote a book called Fatal Throne, I believe. It's on Henry VIII and his 6 wives. And Jennifer wrote as one of the wives. Well-known young adult writer M.T. Anderson wrote as Henry VIII. And other distinguished children's writers wrote as the other wives.
How did they do that? Did they do it chapter by chapter?
Yes.
Did each person take a chapter?
Yes, they were assigned what part they were going to write as, and then they all worked it out. And I can't wait to read it myself. It's coming out in early May. Yeah,
it seems like it would change completely from chapter to chapter. That sounds very interesting. How about Andrew Revkin?
Andrew Revkin has been writing about the environment for over 30 years, mostly for the New York Times. And he's got a new book that I'm sure a lot of people are going to have questions for him. It's an illustrated history of weather from cloud something, I can't remember the term, to climate change. Cloud Atlas, thank you. From cloud atlases to climate change. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask how we got those 4 nor'easters back to back to back to back.
Yeah, this year has been challenging. Let me just ask you, is it illustrated with drawings or paintings or photographs? Do you know?
I haven't seen the book itself yet.
Yeah.
I've just seen the title.
Yeah.
But it'll be out in time for the festival.
That's great. What does Joseph Burchak, and I hope I'm
Joseph
pronouncing that
Burchak
right.
is also a Native American writer. Very interesting man, great speaker, and a poet. His most popular children's series is called The Keepers of the Earth, and he combines Native American lore with science and outdoor activities. And the schools that use his books, the kids go crazy for them.
That's great. That sounds interesting. Brandon Morrow?
Brandon is a professor at Bard and also a fellow. And he's got his latest novel is called The Prague Sonata. And it's sort of a mystery because it's about determining who composed a certain piece of classical music.
Okay.
It's getting some great reviews.
Yeah, yeah. How about Marion Grudko?
Marion, I just met recently, and I'm looking forward to learning more about her, but I know she's a musician as well as a writer.
Yeah.
And she has a picture book I know that she's going to share at the festival.
Yeah, sounds pretty interesting. And Michael Korda, tell me about his part in this.
We were thrilled. We wanted the 10th festival to be a special event, and Michael agreed to be our honorary chairperson. If anyone in the area has ever heard Michael speak, you know how dynamic he is and encyclopedic in his knowledge of history and biographies, and he's written just about every sort of book. He's editor-in-chief emeritus from Simon & Schuster, and he edited books for 3 presidents and many, many best-selling authors and celebrities besides his own writing. His new book is on Dunkirk, which was one of the major turning points in World War II.
And pretty timely, considering that Dunkirk, the movie was just out
Yes,
and nominated for Academy Awards and all sorts of other honors. So will he be speaking there?
Yes, he's going to do a presentation. We had him once before when he did a book on Lawrence of Arabia, and it was great. He had slides, and as I say, he's just a great dynamic speaker. And he'll also, in this book about Dunkirk, he also relates how it affected his particular family.
Yeah, he's British.
Yes, he is British.
So perhaps was his father involved? Or?
I know he was sent to Canada for safety.
Yeah, oh really?
And so he was separated from his parents, and
yeah.
They had one of those situations that so many English families had.
Yeah, well, you can understand why they would send their children away.
Yes.
So the festival is at the Millbrook Library, on the Millbrook Library grounds in Dutchess County, and on May 19th. And what is the time?
From 10 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Very soon we'll have our schedule on our website, millbrookliteraryfestival.org.
Okay.
And if you can't devote a whole day, you can cherry pick, you can look at the schedule and see what hours you can come and see a particular person you're interested in.
Right. And there'll be books for sale as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Merit Bookstore will provide not only people's current books, but usually a few of their back copies as well. It's a great opportunity to meet an author face to face
and to have them
have
sign the book that you buy, which is really nice.
They make great graduation gifts too.
That's true. That's true. Tim, thank you so
Lonna,
much
it's
for
been a
coming
pleasure.
today. It was great talking to you and learning more about the festival and your books too.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah.